Welcome back, everyone, to a much overdue episode of my Zombieland Rimworld Let's Play series, Searching for the Lost. This is episode 6, and as a reminder, in our last episode, we ended with some people requesting charity walking by the small mech cluster that was on the map. They did trigger the mechanoids, but the automotor is still on hold. The mechanoids did call in reinforcements and, of course, went after the visitors, but they stayed there defending their cluster, so there's no harm to us. In the start of the next day, Wiley gets up. Long-awaited awakening of Wiley, who had paralytic abasia. Wiley's getting equipped with a weapon and some equipment, and one of the visitors turns into a zombie. No big deal because we are staying inside due to the mechanoid cluster. We're starting to work on some additional structures, specifically for the purpose of bedrooms, since we've had everyone crammed into a small barracks. I'm going to force Wiley to do a little bit of mining of steel, since that seems to be a resource we've been short on. We have a psychic emitter event on the map that's going to be affecting our colony for 20 days. It's kind of a long time. We might want to take it out. So we're going to send a couple people, one person to repair the walls. We're going to send a couple people out to shoot at Waltz, the zombie. I decided to send Ferenz and Cav since their moods are pretty good. They're also really good shots. They took them out immediately. Continuing to progress, it's the 13th day of September. We still have 12 days on the automortar. Looks like our animals might need some kibble now that it's winter. Not really sure exactly what we're going to do, but with a cat and a dog, we're going to need to be making kibble. So we just need to make sure we have enough food. I'm going to research mortars. I'm also going to move the bedrolls into this all-purpose room. I want to make a little bit more room for beds, and we can make these bedrolls medical bedrolls. I think it's time to start working on taking out these mechanoids. We're going to have to be really careful with this. Oh, and of course, Lanes is walking on the other side of the mountain. Okay, that's risky. It's probably fine. Thought about triggering fire at will off, but they were still going to attack Lanes. Let's bring some folks a little bit closer. Wiley does have a smoke launcher, but Wiley's mood is pretty awful. We might want to have Wiley drop the smoke launcher and have Green, who's not much of a fighter, pick it up instead. Green's going to pick up the smoke cover, help make it a little bit harder for them to attack our colonists. Green's hitting the wall, so move Green forward. And of course, there's an incendiary launcher on the centipede. That's going to be a pain in the butt. LK's on fire. Okay. I'm going to move Granny to front position since there are some Scythers coming into attack range. And everyone just got hit with fire. Perfect. Keep them in their positions with a quick undraft, redraft. Granny, keep melee fighting. And all of our shooters... Ooh, Emar is bleeding pretty bad. I think it might be time to bring people back. There is the days for Wiley, so it's a good thing we returned Wiley back to the base. We're going to see if we can kite any of these mechanoids over to us. Looks like a couple of them definitely did come through. Emor is really slow. Something definitely went bad with Emor on that one. Everyone else seems to be making it back inside without much issue, but Emor is dragging and thus becoming a bit of a target. Of course, Green is still attacking with the smoke launcher. Nice. Come on, Emor. Maybe we get a couple people out to provide some cover fire while Emor works his way back in. And there it is. Emor just went down. So let's get Cavalier to rescue. Friends, you can continue to provide cover fire. Okay. And everyone can go back in, but we have to remember that we have this gun out here because we do not want to lose it to fire. I believe at this time the mechanoids should return to protecting their mech cluster. And once they do, we should be able to go out there, send Ferenz out to haul in. The only thing I really care about is the weapon. Some of our crops are dying because of cold. That's to be expected. Let's make sure that some of the better doctors are attending to people. No, just Green. And make sure our prisoners do not starve. Please. Moods are pretty rough. Everyone's being tended. Let's clean up these rooms so that way we don't get infections. And people have officially caught up to the point where they're starting to work on research. Emor lost their stomach and also a leg. So we can do something about the leg. We can install a prosthetic leg, but we cannot do anything about the lost stomach. It only affects eating, but it's not great. Wiley's been calmed down. Okay, so Wiley's going to get back on track. The prosthetic leg was successfully installed. We're going to switch Wiley to melee. There is a passion for it. And I think Green would be better staying on the smoke launcher. This time I'd like to move forward with more attacks on the mechanoids. Make sure we have a bill set up for shredding mechanoids. And that our spikes are set up over here. We have a trader. They're coming in from the top, so they should be fine with regards to the mech cluster. Once we trade with them, then we'll continue to attack the mechanoids. We made another prosthetic leg. That's good. As you may recall, Patty, one of our prisoners, has 2 peg legs. So it would be good to make sure we have 2 prosthetic legs on stock for when Patty is recruited. I'm going to get rid of some of these crappy clothes, the clothes that we're not going to have any of the colonists equip. Okay, and we bought a shock lance, which should come in handy. I'd like to use it against the centipede. So smoke cover from Green. Colonists move into position, starting with the first smoke area, and then moving to this area with chunk cover. Chunk cover is just slightly worse than barricades, so it's actually pretty decent cover. Unfortunately, at this range, we're not really able to make much attack on the pikeman. The pikeman has pretty long range. Only one of our guns is good enough to shoot that far. Hoping that we bring in some... that we bring forward some of them. Since it doesn't really seem to be working, I move forward the colonists to another set of chunks to try to get more in range. And I bring back our melee colonists. They're not really doing anything, and they're just taking shots. This way, Granny can tend to Wiley, and Granny's mood is not great. Here we go. Took out a Lancer. Let's get another Lancer, please. centipede is coming. And we're going to use the shock lance on the centipede. That should help us at least focus on these others. Focus on our shorter guns on the lancer, our longer guns on the pikeman. There we go. Lanes and friends have the longer range weapons, so they'll focus on the pikeman. The rest can shoot the lancer. Green is still providing smoke cover. It's not doing that much, but I'm sure it's helping deter some of the shots. There's only 2 left. Come on, let's do this. Our aim is also not very great. Okay, looks like we might have gotten the Lancer's weapon because it is now approaching. Should help with our ability to take it out, and then we only have the pikeman and the downed centipede to worry about. Kind of worried about how close this Lancer is getting. Okay, we got the Lancer. Bringing everyone home? No, we shouldn't bring everyone home. There's a couple reasons. We need Granny to tend Wiley, please. But we should not bring everyone home because we have the down centipede that will get back up. So Cav, who seems to be in the best mood, is going to take out the pikeman and go work on meleeing this centipede. We want to make sure we haul in the mechanoid corpses so they can be recycled or shredded. Send everyone else back. Right now, Wiley has the best mood. And the centipede's up. So I'm going to have Wiley join Cav. Definitely, Kev's not the best at melee. Well, it's better than Wiley. But as long as Cav keeps the centipede engaged in melee, the centipede won't shoot, which is going to help us get Wiley out to help attack. And this time it seems to be working. I mean, it's going slowly, but there are some hits that are effective. Wiley's coming out to join. And they should be able to take out this centipede. Like I said, it's not able to attack back because in the melee range, so we're pretty safe to just keep smacking it. Think about bringing out Granny as well. But there's only 17% left on the centipede. Might be able to... There we go. Took it down before Granny made it out. Bunny has gone berserk. Bunny is one of our prisoners. Emor is here. I tell Emor to punch Bunny. And I think maybe I should bring someone else out. And then I make the poor choice of telling Emor to shoot Bunny. And I bring out Green with the punch. I wasn't really thinking about shooting here, and we actually end up killing Bunny. Oops. Patty's still alive. We've been working on Patty longer, but Patty is the one with the double peg legs. So it might have been better to get Bunny. Bunny was a slow learner, so I don't know. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Now we have another zombie attack with 41 zombies. Gonna bring out our best shooters. They're all in pretty decent mood, so I think this will be fine. Let's bring them down. And on the way, Bunny actually turns into a zombie. Bunny was buried without being double tapped. And because Bunny was not double tapped, Bunny turned into a zombie. Something kind of weird going on here where Bunny is like trapped in the grave. But LK is taking some shots and going to take out Bunny. So no worries there. Now Patty is berserk. Luckily, we left a few of the colonists back in the base so they can help with berserk Patty. Granny has a pretty big sword. I'm kind of worried about Granny getting involved, especially after what just happened to Bunny. So I have Granny do a attack. Once Green gets there with fists, I pull Granny back. I really don't want to accidentally kill Patty as well. So we are having Green punch. Pulling Granny back a little bit further. Only 10 hours left on Patty. And there we go. We downed Patty. Let's capture Patty and tend. As has typically been the case with this group, we have enough guns that we're doing pretty well at taking out the zombies, especially because we're targeting them immediately upon them spawning. It seems to be effective. Emor's mood is pretty bad, so I'm going to send Emor back to the base. There is one zombie here that we need to melee. I was thinking about bringing out Wiley, but Wiley's taking too long, so we're just going to have the 3 that are here melee attack that zombie. Now we can move forward again with our guns. Friends' mood is kind of rough. I'm hoping that they can hold it together until we take out the remaining 3, 2. I think we're good. Let's get Friends to go back. Just to make sure that they don't break. We're going to turn off the machining table, try to preserve some of our battery power. I'm also going to uninstall our bedrolls. We do want to make a caravan out to the psychic emitter. Take that down. We have a mad warg. Shouldn't be a problem with all 4 of our guns. There we go. Perfect. Let's haul that in and let our people go. We're going to work on converting Wiley. Wiley being a colonist that joined with Paralytic of Asia is not the right ideology. So just a conversion ritual. Granny leading it. And it was effective. Very nice. Everyone's eating. They're liking their new recreation dining room. Still trying to work on getting them bedrooms, but for now, at least we have a decent barracks. Some of our colonists need warmer clothes, so I was working on some better items before we go on the caravan. Decided to send numerous colonists, about 5 of our colonists on that caravan, hoping that we can do it pretty quickly. Travel time says 1 day, 1.2 days. Only one of our animals can graze, so we are bringing some kibble, some hay, and we're going to send them on their way. Luckily, while our caravan was gone, Patty was recruited, so that's good in case we do get raided. Let's get Patty equipped with a gun. Patty is definitely a shooter. And there's small ruins spotted nearby. I'm definitely trying to rush this caravan with how many of our colonists are gone, so I'm going to move past it without investigating. Patty's got clothes, is starting to work on some clothing, and has a gun. Let's make sure that we set up Patty's schedule, and I'll also make sure I set up work priorities for Patty. I'm going to remove medical from one of our beds. So Patty has a bed in the barracks. And work priorities. Patty's going to mostly be working on mining. I can also help with stone cutting. And cleaning and hauling as the primary function, I think. I'm going to rename Patty. Patty's going to take on the name Black Keeper. And when they get back from the caravan, I also need to rename Wiley. I never renamed Wiley, even though I guess I could have when they had Paralytic of Asia. I never did. So now that they're up and about, definitely overdue to rename them. We're also going to queue up the prosthetic legs for Black Keeper, but I don't want to have the surgery performed yet until our colonists have arrived back home. I think that would be a mistake to have one of our colonists anesthetized with so many away. Okay, so we have the psychic wave emitter. We got some ruins, but I'm sure... There it is. Psychic pulse boomalopes. That shouldn't be too bad. There are a bunch of boomalopes there, but with 3 pretty decent shooters, I think we'll be okay. Green is still equipped with a smoke launcher, which probably would have been more useful if, say, there were mechanoids here or something else. Gonna have Wiley and Cav mount our animals since we have Giddy Up installed. And we're gonna shoot at the boomies. They're probably gonna cause a lot of fire, especially around these wooden structures. I don't really care for the beds and dressers, so it doesn't really bother us. You can set fire to the whole map as long as I can take out that psychic emitter. So I get them up to the psychic emitter. They're just going to attack it to deconstruct it. There is a blizzard, but it is on this tile. So as long as we get them out of here pretty quickly, it shouldn't be a problem. We've got some advanced components, plasteel, steel, and a psychic emanator. The psychic emanator is definitely going to be useful, especially on Losing is Fun. We're going to take all of it and we're going to return home. Our bedrooms are starting to come together, so I'm going to go ahead and queue up the interior walls. I also will need to do, I didn't really think about this, but I want to do a ventilation through from the bottom 3 areas. Our caravan returned home. We're going to go ahead and take out some thrumbos that visited us on the map. Shouldn't be a problem with the number of people we have and the types of weapons we have. And we've taken out thrumbos before. So let's do them one at a time. Right at this door frame. And there we go. Beautiful. That was fast. We got to go down and trigger the other one since it's not manhuntered. There it is. Thrumbo Revenge. It's coming for us. Shouldn't be a problem. And it's downed. Lovely. 2 thrumbos. That's lots of meat. Some more thrumbo fur. And of course, thrumbo horns. Renaming Wiley to Black Sparrow. And I bring out my colonists to take down the auto mortar. It hasn't initiated yet, but let's take it out. I make a dumb mistake and I put our 2 melee pawns right next to it. They get downed and kind of seriously injured. Granny almost dies and loses a leg. So we're going to use one of our prosthetic legs on Granny, and we're going to unsuspend 1 prosthetic leg for Blackkeeper. I'm going to go ahead and make another prosthetic leg. Just double checking injuries. There's nothing we can do about the stomach. Metabolism's 50%. LK still has that mangled scar. Again, nothing we can really do about that. It's affecting quite a lot of stuff with 70% consciousness. But at least they're still up and about. Blackkeeper has 60% moving with the 2 peg legs. And like I said, Granny lost a leg. Would be nice to get to bionics. We're going to keep working our way on the research chain and hope for the best. Blackkeeper does have a mental break here towards the end, but we're wrapping up the 7th of December and this episode. Stay tuned for more. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Thank you, everyone.